Welcome back into Rounding Third Baseball, episode 270. World Series games 3, 4, and 5. I am Nick, and we have Harrison tonight. How are you doing tonight, Harrison? I'm still trying to catch up on sleep from the game 3, but how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I have to admit, I went to bed before that game was over because I just I couldn't do it anymore, and I did not want to watch the Dodgers walk it off. Um, so I finally gave in around, I don't know, sometime after midnight, when I was just like, I'm not sure how long it's gonna go, but I just can't go any longer.
Yeah, it was like 1:30 for me, and I was like, well, tired's tired. So I might as well just stick this
Yep.
thing out. And then 2:30 rolls around and 3 rolls around. And then finally Freeman and 3:20 was just absolutely insane. But we will get into all of what game 3 had to offer us. And it was quite a bit. But first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow on Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have our affiliate sponsors, Logitech, MLB Shop, and Lids. You can find these links on the tops of all of our socials. So if you get any of these products, please get them through our links as we get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you. Just a great way to support the show. We also have Rounding Third merch on Etsy. You just search Rounding Third Baseball. We have sweatshirts, t-shirts, tumblers. We got a whole bunch of stuff on there. We even have car magnets. Those look really great on your car. I know they would.
Yep.
Just a great way to get our name out there and to support us.
And the holidays are coming. Your friends and family definitely want merch. They
Absolutely.
just don't know it yet.
Or you can put it on your wish list for Santa and maybe somebody gets it for you. Just saying. We are also on Patreon, so check us out on Patreon, Rounding Third Baseball. We are building a small little community with exclusive content, behind the scenes stuff, and just a small community that talks baseball all the time. So check us out there as well. All right, let's talk about the managers, the new hire managers first, just to let everybody kind of get in here and get warm. And then we will dive into the World Series because honestly, that's what everybody's here to talk about. But let's just cover the new managers real quick. We got Craig Albernaz, who was a coach for the Guardians, is now the manager of the Baltimore Orioles, and Derek Shelton now for the Minnesota Twins. What was your thoughts on these hires?
I guess I'll start with Shelton because he's the guy that we know better. I think that Shelton's probably a good move for Minnesota. He's a kind of an older, grizzled veteran, has been around the block, has seen some stuff, has been in a bad situation. Um, went to Pittsburgh to rebuild the Pirates, didn't get a chance to do that. I think that the Pirates players generally liked him, and I think you could tell that when he did finally get relieved of his duties. I think the Pirates players liked him. I think they played hard for him. I just don't think the Pirates have any interest in winning, and that's where he was. So I think for the Twins in rebuild mode, I think he's a good kind of steady veteran presence that can handle the young players. And then Albernaz, at first I went, who? And then I went, oh, this is they've been talking about him for like 10 years now as a kind of a manager in waiting. Joe Madden raved about him a long, long time ago. And I think the Orioles fans in general are positive about it. He's somebody who's shown that he's got some great baseball instincts. And I think he brings an energy that the Orioles maybe were lacking. Hard to believe where Brandon Hyde was manager of the year that it wasn't a good fit, but I think Albernaz could be a great fit for them.
Yeah. John Cotter, Shelton does nothing for me. I think personally, I think Shelton's kind of a stopgap for the Twins here, just in the rebuild mode. And then they'll go out and get their manager when they are ready to quote unquote compete. That's just my thought on that. Could be wrong. Who knows? He might be a great fit there. I don't know. The shocking thing about me was it seemed like Pujols might have been the front runner for Baltimore. So for me, that was like, now where does Pujols end up? And news then comes out. He's in his second interview with the Padres. His second interview was 9.5 hours long. So for me, that's telling me that's like, hey, this is your interview and job orientation all in one. What are your thoughts? Is he going to be the new manager of the San Diego Padres?
I don't think either party sits through a 9.5 hour second interview if they don't plan on putting something together. And my guess is the last hour or two of that was probably talking through contract terms. I have to believe that the announcement of Pujols taking that job is on somebody's desk to be released to the public, because that's 9.5 hours is insanity to be like, nah, you know what? On second thought, this isn't a good fit for either one of us.
Right.
It
Yeah.
seems like it's just a matter of when are they going to announce it.
Do you personally think this is a great fit in San Diego?
I do, like we talked about on the a few weeks ago. The Angels job made some sense. The Orioles job made some sense. The San Diego job made some sense. He does have a relationship with those guys. And I think if I'm the Padres, bringing in somebody who's been there, done that, has the receipts, and can actually sit down and talk to these guys, and hopefully straighten them out, I think is a big deal. And I think that Albert could be the right guy. At the same time, this could also blow up disastrously because the guys don't want to listen. And then you really understand where your problem is. But I think Albert's the right guy for that team right now. I don't know what direction they're going to go, just given where they're at in terms of free agency and payroll, but I think Albert's the right guy to make the most of that core.
Yeah, Captain said I would not be happy if I
Yeah.
had an interview that long and didn't get the job. That's fair.
Well, it's like I
John
posted on the
Carter,
page today, like, anybody sit through a 9.5 hour long interview before? Because I've never heard of it.
yeah, John Carter better have a 4 hour golf round in there for sure.
I
Um,
mean, you're in San Diego. I hope you got outside for part of that. I mean, man.
yeah, I'm with you and kind of not with you here. I think this could be potentially a good fit, but for all the reasons you said, like there's not that much gap between, say, him and Manny Machado age wise, and Machado has played with Pujols a lot. Both being from the Dominican, maybe there is a lot of respect for Pujols. He's got to be a legend in the DR.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
so, so
he's a
maybe
legend
there.
everywhere.
Well, I mean, facts. That's true. So, but like, how much does he see Pujols as a peer versus a manager? That's where my only real concern is. Is does Machado take that mentality of like, this is the guy calling the shots, or is this my buddy and we're calling the shots together, which could get really messy really quick. Um, I hope Albert goes in there and does a great job, because from everything we've seen from the outside looking in, he seems like he is ready to be an MLB manager, and we'll see it firsthand in the WBC this coming March. So we'll see how the DR team really respects him, and then I'll get a better feel of how he'll fit in San Diego if indeed he does end up there.
Yeah, my guess is when Albert walks into a room, most people just shut up and stare. I have to
I know I
believe.
would.
Yeah, I mean, I would be like dumbstruck when he just like strolls into chat, but I have to believe that because of the relationship that they have, Manny is not going to want to abuse his friendship. At the same time, Albert can also tell Manny to go kick rocks if he's not kind of getting on board. And I fully expect that before this is all said and done, Albert's already had that conversation with Manny to say, "Look, dude, like I'm coming. This is the plan. I need you on board."
Yeah.
And I have to believe they've already figured that out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I'm Albert, I wouldn't take the job thinking my friends are going to submarine me.
Yeah. That's fair. Fair point.
But that is a hell of a group of personalities to try to wrangle. But I don't suspect Albert's going to have too much trouble earning their respect.
Yeah. I'm with you.
The first time Manny starts to mouth off, you go, 700? 700? Manny, 700? Yeah, shut up.
Right.
Call me when you've done something, kid.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Let's get into it. I mean, we got to dive deep into this game 3 marathon. Man, oh man. Instant classic. 18 innings, second longest World Series game in history, only to game 3 of the 2018 World Series, also at Dodger Stadium, and also with a left-handed Dodger hitting a walk-off home run to end it. But here we go. So Teoscar Hernandez, Shohei Ohtani start off the scoring with homers in the second inning and the third inning. So 2-0 Dodgers right off the top. Then you're like, all right, here we go. Like maybe the Dodgers offense has woken up a little bit here. Alejandro Kirk then turns around and hits a 3-run shot in the top of the fourth, makes it 3-2 Blue Jays. Blake Snell has been kind of hammered in this series. The Blue Jays have done a really great job against Blake Snell.
Yeah, it's like we were texting back and forth last night. Game 5 is the perfect matchup for the Blue Jays because they crush lefties. And Snell, I mean, they jumped right down his throat. And Snell was good against the Brewers, and where you can get away with some stuff there, and they aren't necessarily going to hurt you. Though the Blue Jays let him get away with nothing.
Yeah, crazy. So Andres Jimenez then continues the scoring in the fourth. He gets a sac fly. He scores Addison Barger. They're 4-2 Blue Jays. Blue Jays look like they're in great shape here. Then Dodgers come back with a little punch of their own. Ohtani drives in Kike, and then Freeman drives in Ohtani. We got a 4-4 tie after 5, kind of back and forth seesaw battle. Bo Bichette then drives in Vladdy Jr. to take a 5-4 lead in the top of the 7th, only to be answered by Shohei Ohtani with his second homer of the game to tie it in the 7th, 5-5. And that is it for the scoring until the 18th inning.
For like 4.5 hours.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Now, there are some events leading up to the 18th inning that had fans just being like, what is going on here? So, first one is we go to the 10th. The Blue Jays get thrown out at the plate in the 10th, leaving Vladdy on deck. Now, we have a runner on first, double hit down the right field line to the fence. Perfect relay by the Dodgers. And that was the only way you were going to get him was a perfect relay. And I get kind of putting the pressure on the Dodgers to make that perfect relay because, I mean, we've seen it in the past. Relays can be really messy, even at the pro level. But Dodgers executed it, and they threw out Davis Schneider by 20 feet. Like, it really wasn't close. Like, Smith had time to catch it in front of the plate and then come down and block it, which you can block the plate if you have the ball.
Yep.
So and people were in uproar like about that. And I get it because that rule this year was like put in at the beginning of the year and then not really enforced. And people weren't really sure what the rule meant about blocking or giving a lane. I still don't know really exactly what the rule is because sometimes it was called, sometimes it wasn't. But this was a clean play in my eyes. He had the ball. He can do whatever he needs to prevent the run. What I did not know is Schneider can railroad the catcher in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was taken completely out, but I did not realize that had come back in.
I believe the way it is now is that it has to be to the body. It's got to be like shoulders to waist. You've got to hit in that range. What they were trying to take out was the guys that were trying to headhunt on their way into the plate, because there were guys that were going in for the head.
Yeah, I mean, which you would want to, right? You want to go in for the kill. You want to drop it.
Well, I want you so unconscious you can't hold on to the ball, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, Curtis, buddy, we're with you. And I mean, game 3, we love this game in general, but game 3, holy smokes, man, was it awesome. Yeah, it was. I'm with you, Captain. I like being aggressive, but you have Vladimir Guerrero hitting 500 in the World Series. I mean, he's not now. What is he at? Like 486? I think he dropped to like 486. Oh, woo. You have him in the on. You have him in the on deck circle with runners on second and third and 2 outs. Now you have a chance to drive in 2. Now you've just taken yourself completely out of the inning. And the way the Dodgers were throwing the ball in the dirt, I mean, a free 90 feet could have happened at any point there. Whatever. So anyways, let's move on to the 12th. Blue Jays load the bases, and in comes Clayton Kershaw with the bases loaded and 2 outs. And we're all just like, we saw the last time Kershaw came in relief. It wasn't a good performance here.
It was batting practice last time.
Yeah. Um, and he gets a 3-2 count, and he gets Lucas to chase a down and outside curveball. He rolls it over, inning over. Dodgers are pumped. Kershaw's pumped. And I'm kind of happy for Kershaw that he got out of that, because that's his last memory at Dodger Stadium, is getting out of a bases loaded jam like that, instead of the last outing he had where he got absolutely shellacked by the Phillies.
Massacred.
Yeah. So I am happy that Clayshaw, I just, combined both his names. Clayton Kershaw got that moment in a Dodgers uniform in his last homestand there.
That should have been his nickname all along. He should have been Clayshaw. He only should have gone by one name.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. So in the middle of the 12th and the 18th, the Dodgers had, I forgot to put this slide in, and I'm really sorry to Will Klein, because you definitely deserve a slide. This
Yeah.
kid for the Dodgers had the game of his life. Nobody knew who the heck Will Klein was before game 3. The Dodgers bullpen is completely empty. Will Klein is the last guy in the bullpen, sitting out there by himself with like one bullpen coach. And he's like, well, I guess it's my turn to go in. He had not thrown more than 30 pitches in an outing in his career. And he goes out and throws 72 pitches of scoreless baseball when the Dodgers needed him the most. I mean, what a moment for that kid to go out there and do what he did against the Blue Jays lineup that has been hitting pretty well this World Series.
Yeah. It's that. I mean, you assume at that point most guys are like exhausted, and you got one fresh guy in the bullpen. There's literally nobody behind him. It's your ball till we basically end this game one way or another, kid. And I mean, to go out there and pitch like he did, and it wasn't like they're hitting balls hard at people. He was super effective.
Yeah, he was.
But again, it's because the Blue Jays had never seen him.
Right.
And so again, like, you have no book on a guy. They'd never seen him, and they looked like it. But the kid executed. He just went out there and threw the pitches he had to throw. I mean, I can't remember a ball that was hit hard.
No.
He just continued to deal.
And he wasn't in trouble, really. Any of those innings, he wasn't in trouble.
He was coasting.
Yeah. So 16th innings kind of rolling around, and you see Yamamoto's interpreter go up to Mark Pryor and whisper in his ear, and then that gets John Smoltz and Davis like like bug-eyed in the booth, being like, what's going on here? Yamamoto tells Dave Roberts that he's ready to go in after throwing 107 pitches in game 2. He's ready to go back in game 3. Now, I mean, it would have been wild if we saw him go back in there. That would have been the first time we've seen that in since what, 1930 something. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, like I remember like Madison Bumgarner coming in for the Giants out of the bullpen, but it wasn't when he pitched the day before. Like, it was his second or third day, and it was like his bullpen session. He'd use it coming out. But
you saw Yamamoto like throwing in the bullpen there, and then in the 18th inning, Freddie Freeman gets up and hits the walk-off homer. And it looked like the Dodgers had possibly ended it a couple times throughout the extra innings, because Will Smith got into one. He bat flips it, he bat drops it, and the ball just like dies at the warning track. Teoscar Hernandez hit one really hard to dead center. It looked like he got it, and the ball just died as well. So it was weird. Like, the ball wasn't flying well. Looked like the Dodgers were just trying to jack one out of there. And then Freeman finally does. What is Freddie Freeman's legacy at this point? After the walk-off grand slam last year, the walk-off here in the 18th, is Freddie Freeman one of those playoff like idols or icons? Like, when you think of MLB postseason success, Freddie Freeman is mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, Freddie's up there in terms of overall postseason performances with some of the best. His stats aren't necessarily like jump off the page at you, but he has come up with so many big hits. He had the home run streak of consecutive games. I mean, he's not out there hitting 400, but he's getting a ton of huge hits.
Yeah.
And when you need a guy to come through and you need a big hit, when you have an offense that's stalled, like the Dodgers offense was completely stalled in that game, he's the guy that finds a way to break out of it. And sometimes it literally can just be a ball in the gap, but he also hits a lot of really big home runs.
He does. Yeah, Freddie is money. I mean, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys that just seems to bail them out when
Yeah.
they need something, because they were lost.
Yeah. And we'll return back to that point in a second here. Yeah, clutch, Curtis, 1,000%. That's the one word to describe him at this point. Yeah, anytime you mention World Series homers, you're going to mention Freeman. I think that's spot on, Mike. 1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lost in all of this, if you will. I mean, not really lost. Ohtani's record-breaking Game 3, 4 for 4, 4 extra base hits, 5 walks, 4 of them intentional, reach base safely all 9 times. I mean, insane. But if you're the Blue Jays, you're not going to let Shohei Ohtani beat you in that moment. Especially love Mookie Betts, love Mookie Betts, but he is scuffling hard, and he's even come out and said he is.
Yep.
How impressive is this to you, Harry? I mean, he beat this record by 3 at bats. Like the previous record was like 6 times reaching safely in a World Series game. He did it 9 times. 9. It's insane.
Yeah, and 4 they just gave him because they knew the guys behind him weren't going to hit. And that was where Freddie's home run was so big, is that, I mean, Freddie's World Series to this point hadn't been great. And then that moment changed everything for him. But I mean, reaching base 9 times is insanity. It's also insanity to even get up 9 times. So there's that too.
Right.
But I mean, Ohtani, as bad as his postseason performance had been, kind of batting average wise and all that, he's had a great World Series.
Yeah.
He's been basically the whole offense, because the guys behind him have done little to nothing. And if I'm the Blue Jays seeing that, there's no way on earth I'd let that guy swing a bat.
Yeah,
No way.
Right on cue. Mike goes, if I'm the Jays, I'm not letting Ohtani beat me the rest of this series.
No.
I'm with you.
I am going to make Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman beat me. I'm not going to let Ohtani do it. He's the only guy in that lineup hitting right now. That Dodgers offense has been pretty putrid all postseason.
Yep.
And right now they're at 3.6 runs per game. They were over 5 during the regular season. Their pitching has literally carried them. And you're now facing a Blue Jays offense that isn't going to let the pitching carry them. And these guys can't hit. They just can't score runs.
No, they look absolutely lost at the plate,
Bad,
and I mean,
bad.
Yeah. And like you said, like Ohtani, he's weird to me because like he has some games where it's just, he looks lost at the plate. And then the next game he comes up and he's, 4 for 4, reaches base safely 9 times. Like we saw that last series too. Like he was kind of quiet games, 1 through 4. And then game 5 to put away the Phillies, he only, pitches 10 Ks and 7 innings and hits 3 bombs. It's just like, but when he has these huge games, he has huge games. Yep. So, but if you're the Jays, you're not taking that chance for sure. Ever.
No, you can't. You just can't do it.
Yeah. So another thing that was kind of lost in this game because it felt so long ago. This happened early in the game. I want to say 3rd-ish inning.
Yeah, it was early.
I can't even remember at this point.
It was a 6+ hour game. It's hard to remember when things happened.
Yeah. So Bo Bichette is at first base. Dalton Varsho thinks he takes ball 4. It was a high called strike. The ump was delayed on the strike. Varsho starts walking to first base and then turns around to face the umpire and then still thinks it's ball 4. So he turns back around. So Bichette is left in no man's land, just kind of standing off the base. Smith throws it back to Glasnow and then starts like erratically pointing to first base to throw it over because Bichette's just standing there like lost. And the ball goes to Freeman. Freeman tags him for the out. And what kills you there is the Blue Jays then go behind that and hit back-to-back singles. So Bichette could have possibly scored that inning and we don't have a tie game. We're not going to 18 innings. So like kind of lost in this entire game 3. And I guess it's what made game 3 so special, really, is because all these weird things happen. But I'm with both of you guys here. Bichette just can't stop on the base pass, but that is easier said than done, right? If you're the base runner, it's loud in Dodger Stadium. You have a ball as a runner, you can usually tell when it's a ball or strike, right? The ball was high. So Bichette's like, oh, that's ball 4. And he's looking at Varsho's reaction. So he starts going to second. Then Varsho turns back around. Bichette takes a couple shuffles back to first. And then when Varsho turns around that second time, that's when Bichette was toast because Varsho was like, oh, yeah, it is ball 4 when it wasn't. And now you're just kind of stuck out there. Like there's no way to get back at that point. When you get picked off, you get picked off. That's end of story. Like there's been numerous times I've been standing out there like, what just happened? And that's where Bo Bichette was. Just a weird play.
Well, and it's like Captain said, this is entirely the ump's fault for the confusion. But Bichette knows better than to just stand there off the base, waving his hands, looking for a clarification. Now, at the same time, where on earth was the first base ump clarifying the call? I don't think the first base ump knew the call either. I don't think anybody on the field knew the call. And that's the problem. Bichette's asking for help. Nobody can help him. And he's standing there waiting to know which direction to go, not expecting to get picked off while they try to resolve this because nobody in the ballpark knew the call.
Right.
And that is, it's one of my biggest pet peeves, these umpires that when it's a ball, just say nothing. It's like, make a call. Like say something so people know. Like you can't just pretend like nothing happened and expect people to read that as a ball. Because he didn't signal strike. I mean, there was nothing. It was he just stood there like a statue.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
There was nothing going on, and that is 100% the ump's fault for the confusion. The other umps in the field couldn't help because they didn't know, but Bichette knows better than to just stand there. But in the situation, like you said, like what else are you going to do? Like I don't know where I'm supposed to go because I don't know what you just called. And you're totally right. At that point, the ump should have just called. They should have called the ball dead and just clarified the call. But instead, they all just stood there looking at each other because nobody knew what was happening.
Can you just blow the ball dead though? Like, can you
Once the ball gets back to the mound, they can call it dead. I mean, they never should have let Glasnow make that throw because the ball should have been ruled dead when everybody's asking what was the call. Like the minute the players are going, "What is the call?" and the Blue Jays bench was screaming, "What is the call?" The umpires should have called the ball dead and clarified what happened. Instead, they just stood there and let it play out. So this is 100% in my mind the umpire's fault. But at the same time, Bo Bichette should know better than to just stand there because the ball was still in play.
Right.
But that was a disaster.
Yeah.
Like that was and if I'm MLB, like I'm shaking my head at seeing that happen in the World Series. Because that honestly, like Game 5 could have been the deciding game. This World Series could be over right now if they had made an actual call on that.
Yeah. And Schneider did go out in between innings because I heard it on the interview in the in-game interview about going out to the ump and talking, be like, hey, buddy, like I don't have an issue with your call. You just got to make it quicker. So like this delayed calls, we're used to see umps back in the day make the strike call like they're down on their knee, and it takes them 10 years to stand up and make the strike. Like, so he's brutal. Like, yeah. So it's like, hey, like let's just make the call quicker so we don't run into this again. And I agree with Schneider. Like, if you make the call, make the signal. Like, I love the ump that would be like strike, and he'd just throw his arm up real quick, like when he called it, just boom, strike. Everybody knew what it was immediately. And this is what we're saying, Mike. The ump did say strike. You could hear it in the audio, but he was so delayed when he finally was just like, it took forever for him to get to that point.
And at that point, like the players are already asking, like, what is the call? Like, what did you call? Because we're all standing here waiting. Like, what are you going to do? It determines where we go. It's just the whole thing was a disaster.
Yeah, it was nuts.
And I will say credit to Schneider. He could have gone out there and lost his mind, but he didn't. Like he was
Yeah.
They're screaming from the bench, "What's the call? What's the call?" He finally makes the call. All hell breaks loose, and Schneider does not lose his mind. He just calmly goes out after the inning and says, "Dude, like, please don't put us in that position again."
Yeah.
When he had every right to go running out there like Aaron Boone and lose his mind, but he didn't.
Yeah. Hold the Aaron Boone losing his mind thought for trivia later. But um where does this rank for you in World Series single games that you have watched?
Oh, I mean, in in terms of like excitement, it's way up there because
Yeah.
like literally every pitch was like, "Is this the one? Is this the one? Is this the one?" But in terms of action, it's like way down the list. That was what, 9 straight innings of literally nothing?
Yeah.
10 straight innings of literally nothing, and just back and forth of nothing. And so many innings were clean. It was just like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You're just mowing people down. But that was intense. The fact that like literally every pitch you were hanging on, and the fact that the bullpens were literally empty, and you were down to like the mop up guys, and it was crazy.
And I think that's what kept me up for the entire game because I'm just
That whole
like,
night.
yeah, the whole morning, night. I don't even remember
Oh
at this point. But I mean, it was just like, all right, we're in the 12th inning. Dodgers got one guy left in their bullpen. The Jays are almost empty themselves. Like, and lost also in this is Eric Lauer going in and absolutely dealing too and shutting down the
yeah,
Dodgers. So he had an incredible outing for the Jays too. But like for me, it was just like, where are these managers gonna go? Like what is the next move? And like we're starting to talk about position players pitching in the World Series because they literally have nobody left in the bullpens. I mean, we were almost at that at that point, which is crazy, but like that's what was keeping me up. Like even though it was 1-2-3, 1-2-3, I'm sitting there on the couch. I'm like, no one's gonna score. This one's
no,
going
this
20.
this
This one's
could go
going
on.
26.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they might be playing. They might be playing this time tomorrow.
yeah. I'm like, man, oh
It felt
man.
like for stretches that literally nothing was going to happen. Like nobody had a hope of scoring.
Yeah.
They couldn't get anything going.
It was funny because I put a post out on Facebook and I go, at what point do they pause for breakfast? And no joke, the next half inning they show the fruit spread on the benches. I was like, oh, there it is. Because it was just like it was crazy, man. I loved every second of it. I was in it. I wasn't even like scrolling on my phone. Like it was one of the first times where I was like glued to the TV and it had me captivated the entire time. And the pitchers in the extra innings, I think, did it. I mean, Eric Lauer, like I said, for the Blue Jays was incredible. And then Will Klein, like, what an awesome story for that
Yeah.
kid. A moment he's never gonna forget. And he was lights out. He made a name for himself for sure. People are gonna be looking at him differently going forward.
Yeah, there's now a legend around him.
Yeah. I mean, it was awesome. It was for me, it was one of the best World Series games front to back that I've seen, just because of its quirkiness at the beginning. Otani's 9 safely reached bases. I mean, 4 extra base hits, a Freeman walk off. I mean, the Kirk's home run. I mean, there was a little bit of everything in that. You know, Tommy Edman had a big error that led to a couple runs.
Yeah.
There was just everything in that baseball game, and we say it almost every show. Like, no matter how much baseball we watch, we see something new every single night we turn this game on. There's no other pro sports organization out there that happens.
No. No, and it's funny, Mike, I was gonna go down this road, and I actually feel the other way about this. I feel like I finally appreciated the Ghost Runner because of this game, and I only because we were at a point where, 1, you were potentially looking at position players coming in to pitch in the World Series, which would have been awful, and 2, the effects of a game like that on the rest of the series
Mhm.
completely changes things. Bullpens are totally wiped out, guys are exhausted. Games 4 and 5 are clearly influenced by this game. Um, I don't think it's as cool as the game was. I just don't think it's in the World Series best interest to have a game like that as part of your series. As cool as
Yeah.
it was, And as legendary as that game will be, I just don't know that you want that because of the downstream effect of that type of game.
I mean, that's fair, but it also helps show who is the better team, who's the deeper team, who's got the most complete team. Like, not necessarily the best nine, who's got the best 24. I mean, both teams had to use all 24 players. I mean, it kind of does showcase that. And I'm all for that. Like, we are here to see who is the better team. And for me, I mean, this was an all-out battle. I loved every, like I said, every second of it, every pitch of this game. And again, lost in this too is Arthur. All the wild pitches in there.
Bunch.
It was a ton.
I've
And
never
like,
seen so many wild pitches, and wild pitches that weren't even close.
yeah, and you're just like, holy
Not
smokes.
even in the
Like,
range.
they gave Will Smith a pass ball on one of them that nobody in their right mind would have caught. It was like deep in the left-hander's batter's box. He had no prayer, and they gave him a pass ball. I was like, okay, like, what are we doing here? But anyways, like, I completely forgot about that because so much had happened in game 3. Yeah, and John, I'm with you. It's World Series. Charlie Holstaff should be available. I agree. And that's what it was. Both teams emptied their pitching staff. I mean, we even saw, was it? Yeah, Bieber went out also for the Jays in game 3. He's scheduled to start game 4, which we'll get into in a minute. So he was ready to come in, and then the Jays would have had to fill up everything on the backside. But man, for me, this was way up there for me. This was incredible from start to finish. The back and forth, the historic aspects of this game. Offensively for Ohtani, like I said, the bullpen guys for the Jays and the Dodgers. Just all around, I thought it was absolutely incredible. And that's what I love, that baseball was able to showcase something like that on the biggest stage. So that's my final thoughts on game 3. Yeah. You got anything else, Dad, for game 3?
No, I don't love the 18 inning game as much as everybody else, I guess, but
okay.
It was cool, but I didn't stay up for it because it was too damn late and too damn long, and
Fair.
I don't love an 18 inning game in the World Series for a lot of reasons.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. All right, let's get into game 4 and game 5. They're a little not as exciting, but still pretty awesome because the Jays have kind of taken a stranglehold on this series, and we'll dive into it. So here are all the scoring plays. Kike Sackfly in the second, Guerrero, another homer for him in the third, and then Jimenez, France, and Bichette. Bargers all have RBIs in the 7th. The Blue Jays have put up 4-run innings all over this series.
Yep.
They score in bunches. And then Edman hits an RBI ground out in the 9th. And the Jays come back and even the series 2-2. Great outing out of Shane Bieber. And who pitched game 4? I'm all messed up because Glasnow was Ohtani pitched game 4.
Yeah.
And
he wasn't great. He was okay.
Yeah.
He gave up 4 earned in 6 innings.
How much?
And they hit him. I mean, they hit him pretty good too. But we had said that. We thought Glasnow was a tougher matchup because of the breaking stuff. Ohtani was with a lot of heat. The Blue Jays weren't really phased by Ohtani. Glasnow, they kind of hit him in sections. Like they would have a good inning, then have like a couple of quiet ones, and they have a good inning because Glasnow is also wildly inconsistent. But he was also out of the game early, as we knew he would be, because that's Glasnow's MO.
Right.
And also lost in game 3 was the fact that Max Scherzer gave you a pretty good start for the Blue Jays too.
Yeah.
Another guy we were kind of like, I don't know what you're going to get from him, but hopefully it's good. But Scherzer and Bieber were very good in games 3 and 4. The Dodgers starting pitching, not as much.
Yeah. And for me personally, I found like that's where the Dodgers could have had the edge, was their game 3 and game 4 starters, because of the coin flip factor, if you will, for Bieber and Scherzer. I love Scherzer, but you don't know. Yeah. But man, they were great, and reason the Blue Jays are where they are right now. So Blue Jays tie at 2-2. Game 5, Savage comes back, and this dude is something special. My favorite graphic of Game 5 was when they were talking about his release point, and I texted this to you last night, Harrison. His release point is released at 7 feet 1 inches.
So like Shaquille O'Neal's height.
Yeah, 7 feet 1 inches, and the major league average, they said, is 5'3". So he's releasing this ball almost 2 feet higher than a typical MLB pitcher. So this arm slot, we talk about dropping down to the side, 3/4 submarine. Like, people see that more than they see the ball coming from 7 feet over their heads.
Yep.
And then you back that up with that devastating splitter that he has. Really no shot. As a hitter, how do you make an adjustment to that?
I don't know. And the Dodgers don't know either because they weren't able to. I remember I faced a kid in high school who was like 6'4" and threw the same way, like way over the top. And it was always uncomfortable facing him because you felt like you had to look up to see the ball. Like normally you're looking kind of with your normal height sight line, but to see the pitch out of his hand, you've got to look up, and it like throws all of your balance and mechanics off because now like you got like a lean you don't expect to have. You're staring up a little bit. It just feels awkward. And then anything with break, which is going to come out of your hand and come up, it loops up. It's just that much higher at release. So it's got to be so weird and so hard to track with that thing coming from so much higher than you're used to seeing it. And you've got to physically adjust your body so that the brim of your helmet isn't blocking your view. Like it's weird.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah. So let's start at the beginning. Davis Schneider, of all guys, hits a first pitch over the fence for a home run. Gets the game started with a bang.
Yeah.
And then
Not messing
Guerrero.
around.
Nope. And then Guerrero back to back with him. So first 3 pitches, 2-0 Jays. And then that's pretty much all the Blue Jays needed. Savage was great. 12 Ks, breaks Don Newcomb's record for most Ks by a rookie in a World Series. He set tons of most Ks in a World Series by a rookie. I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on with this kid. The AL East is in trouble with this kid. It's going to be a long few years with Savage in Toronto.
Yeah, he's now made more career postseason starts than regular season starts. Mm-hmm. Let that sink in for a minute. That's how new this kid is to Major League Baseball. He's now made more postseason starts than regular season starts in his career.
He's not just new to Major League Baseball. He's new to baseball, period. Like, I mean, single A to the World Series in 1 year is wild, and the impact that he's having. I mean, he was in single A for 2 starts. We looked it up. It was like ridiculous. It was like 2, 3, 2, and then bang, major leagues. You're just like, what?
Yeah. I saw a graphic somebody posted, and it was basically like his first start of the season was in April in Dunedin in front of 327 people. And he just pitched in the World Series at Dodger Stadium and set a bunch of records during it. And that's a hell of a path to go from 327 people in April to Game 5 of the World Series. Yeah. But the two best clips of that night were the one where he throws the pitch and he's already walking off the mound as Ohtani is swinging with his helmet falling off.
Yeah.
And like Ohtani's waving, just baffled at a splitter or slider, wherever he threw him. And Savage is already fully turned, walking off the mound as Ohtani's watching his helmet hit the ground.
Yeah.
And the other one was that ground ball to first base that Vladdy grabbed and then slapped the bag. In the background, you've got Scherzer like, yeah, Scherzer the top step going ballistic when the kid comes in. Scherzer was like the most excited guy in the whole ballpark for what this kid was doing.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely crazy. David Price is the only other player I can think of this similar timeline. I mean, Peyton Tolley for the Red Sox came up pretty dang quick this year, but obviously not in the World Series. But I mean, I said it to you. I can't remember who I said it to anymore at this point, but the amount of young kids that are coming up and immediately impacting teams is incredible. And all 30 major league teams have these kids that are coming up, and the moment's not too big for them, and they're making impacts like this. And it's absolutely incredible. I love that baseball is in great hands with these young kids and the immense talent they have. 327 people to 52,000 people is quite a leap.
Yeah, and the
But
Dodgers versus some high A lineup you're facing. I mean, it's incredible what this kid has accomplished. And somebody who honestly in April, Blue Jays fans barely knew his name.
yeah, no
I mean,
clue.
he was some low-level minor leaguer that you thought might be good, but I mean, this kid was not on anybody's radar until
Yep.
September.
Yeah, very memorable performance for all time. Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, it's this World Series could be talked about for a while. I mean, there's been some incredible moments so far, and we're not even done yet.
No.
So, I mean, we'll get into that. So, how do we see the rest of this going out? We got game 6 tomorrow. Yamamoto's going for the Dodgers. He's been pretty untouchable this postseason.
Yep.
Whole back half of the season, really. Do the Dodgers push it to 7, or is this game over tomorrow, Harrison? That's this
I
series
mean,
over tomorrow.
yeah, I mean, I think this plays out perfectly for a 7-game series. I expect Yamamoto to come out and just deal tomorrow. I expect that to lead to a game 7. However, I will say that now that the Blue Jays have seen Yamamoto, I will be curious how they approach him in game 6. Um, my biggest fear for the Dodgers, and I hope the Dodgers lose, so I'm not like afraid they're like I want that to happen. But the Dodgers have now reached the point where their pitching can no longer carry their offense. Their offense has become such a weight on them that they can't outpace it anymore. They need these guys to start hitting. They need Mookie to start hitting. They need Freddie to do more. They need Teoscar to get hot again like he was in the first couple games. Like they need these guys to get back into a rhythm
Yep.
because they just can't outpitch the offense for much longer. And we've
No.
seen that. We saw that in games 4 and 5. I mean, they 3 runs, they managed nothing. No real offensive strength, no real offensive force, no momentum. The Dodgers have to score because as good as Yamamoto is, if you only give him 1 run like you gave like you've given him the last couple of games, he may not be able to win with that.
Yeah, I mean, the dude's incredible. His game 2 start was one of the best in World Series history that we've seen recent World Series history, I should say, before the history heads take my head off. I mean, going 9 shutout, like pitchers don't go 9, they don't go 5, let alone 9 anymore in the World Series. So that was transcended what anything we've seen the past few years. I'm kind of with you though. Like I'm kind of expecting the Blue Jays to take this game, and it's because of everything you said about the Dodgers lineup. They are ice cold, really. I mean, other than a couple standout
Bad.
performances from Otani, um, everybody else has been fairly non-existent. I mean, Max Muncy is nowhere to be found. Teoscar, he's got a couple of hits here and there. I think the other night he had a couple hits, but they're quiet hits because there's nobody on base in front of them. Like Dodgers get a
Yeah, I mean
runner to second, then they okay.
Teoscar's your leading hitter, and he's got 1 RBI. I mean,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
nobody's on base.
Yeah. I just yeah, and this is a great point too, Arthur. They're doing this without George Springer. The Blue Jays are
Yeah, I
doing this
mean,
without George Springer. It's crazy.
yeah, and you're doing it with Bo Bichette's less than 100%. That's a scary thing. Like
Yeah.
this Blue Jays team would be even better if they were fully healthy, but here we are, and they're still getting it done. I mean, I I have a feeling that the Blue Jays will finish it tomorrow, but I still think that this has the perfect script for a 7-game series.
It
I
does.
don't think LA can win both in Toronto. I think the Blue Jays win the series, but I could totally see this ending up in a game 7 where it would just be chaos.
Yeah, Captain agrees with you. I don't see the Dodgers taking both in Toronto. I mean, that being said, if there's a team out there that could turn it around on a dime,
Sure.
it could be this Dodgers team. So, like, I'm not sitting here as a Blue Jays fan being like, I'm comfortable. I'm sitting here like Game 7 of the 2004 ALCS as the Red Sox being like, oh, we have a 10-4 lead. I'm still not comfortable. I know we're in the 9th inning, but I'm not comfortable. I'm kind of like that if I'm a Blue Jays fan because
Yeah.
you don't know when this Dodgers team is going to turn the page and just be like a monster. And they can do that for 2 games. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I am confident about the Jays and how they're playing. The Blue Jays are confident with how they're playing. and it is a different guy every night. I mean, yes, you have the staple and Vladimir Guerrero hitting 480 something, like being the backbone of that team, but it is somebody different every night. You know, Barger in game one, you have Schneider leading off with a home run last night. It's somebody different, and they just keep the line moving and they put in lengthy at bats. And that is, as a pitcher, there is nothing more frustrating than a hitter fouling off 8 2-strike pitches. It's just like, I can't get this guy out. I can't put him away. And then you end up walking him. And then walks in the playoffs are lethal. Lethal.
They always come back to get you.
Mm-hmm.
Like a great example is the Blue Jays have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys hitting 300 or better, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys with 3 or more RBIs in what's been 5 games so far.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers have 2 guys hitting better than 300 and 2 guys with more than that many RBIs. It's and you got a guy like Teoscar who sadly has 1 RBI, but he's got the most hits of anybody on the team.
Yeah.
They've just been quiet. Like there's not enough traffic on the bases to get anything done. And you've got Will Smith hitting 238. Kike's hitting 211, and he's been one of your best guys. You've got Muncy hitting $150, Edmund hitting $143, Mookie's hitting $130, Pages is hitting 067.
Yeah, he's done.
Like,
I don't think we'll see him the rest of the series.
The bottom half of that lineup, which we said all along, like if you don't let the top, if you can get through the guys at the top, you can't let the guys at the bottom beat you. The guys at the bottom haven't done jack in this whole series.
No,
it's been Teoscar and Shohei, mostly Shohei, carrying the load.
Yeah. And I think it was before last night's game. I think I saw some wild stat that there's only been 2 or 3 double plays turned in the entire series. Something like that, which is crazy to think about. I mean, there's been traffic in a lot of the games, but haven't seen many double plays. Like pitchers have had to get outs, like separately.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the Dodgers push this to a 7 with how Yamamoto has been pitching. But for everything the chat is saying right here, I think I'm going to go with you. The crowd at the Rogers Center tomorrow is going to be insane. The roof might physically be lifted off that place tomorrow. It's going to be rocking, and that is going to be a tough atmosphere for the Dodgers, who are already slumping at the plate, to go in and win. Now, their only chance is to get to Kevin Gausman early. That's their only chance to take. You got to take the crowd completely out of it from the first inning. If you don't do that, I think the Dodgers could be in for a long night.
Yeah, I mean, and he and Yamamoto matched each other kind of pitch for pitch for quite a bit of that game, and then Gausman kind of ran out of gas there and gave up the 2 home runs and was the 6th or 7th inning, and that was the whole game.
Yeah,
it was a 1-1 game for a lot of it. But if this Blue Jays team gets up early in this game tomorrow, that place is going to be loud. That Dodgers team is going to start to press, and I think you can see the wheels come off the bus, because this Dodgers team is losing games 4 and 5 at home puts all the pressure back on the Dodgers. Mm-hmm. You've now got to go on the road, win them both at less than kind of ideal situation. And, oh, by the way, you're the team that was the juggernaut that was supposed to be here and was supposed to win. And now you've got your backs against the wall against the team that doesn't seem to care who you think you are. They just keep swinging for you.
Mm-hmm. It is going to be interesting, though, because, I mean, yes, I know they got a day rest, but what does the bullpen situation look like? I'm curious.
If you're the Dodgers, and Dave Roberts already said it, like everybody, to them, they're playing 2 game 7s.
No, absolutely.
Because there's no tomorrow if you don't win game 6. So I suspect it's going to be all hands on deck. And they talked about Ohtani being available. Ohtani could play the outfield. Ohtani could DH. Ohtani could pitch. Like, they're going to use him wherever they need to. You know, it's going to be all hands on deck for the rest of the series for the Dodgers.
Yeah,
and
it has to be.
Yeah, and they're going to have to figure something out. I know Dave Roberts made some big changes in Game 5 to the lineup. They didn't work. They were just as bad as they were the past couple days. I don't know what you do to get that lineup awake. I mean, Mookie Betts in that post game interview looked like he was going to cry. I mean,
Yeah.
he can't put the bat on the ball. And the couple times he's had, and he's actually hit a ball decently well, it's been right at somebody.
Yeah.
He can't get anything going. And
Yeah.
they moved him down in the lineup to a better position to get better pitches, and he still couldn't hit. It's just bad. It's bad all around.
Yeah. Brooklyn Row, I think we got the Blue Jays going. I think it's too much for the Dodgers to get into the Rogers Center. That's gonna be roaring. It's gonna be too much for the Dodgers to overcome at this point, and they have to go in there and then find their offense. And that with that ruckus crowd, I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening. I think it's the Blue Jays. But I did say the Dodgers are the team that could go in and do it if they figure it out. I don't think they quite have it. But we'll see. I mean, I've known to have been wrong on this podcast before. So,
well, if there's a team that could do it, it's the Dodgers. If they wake up tomorrow and that lineup is hot, then yeah, good luck. But
yeah,
they haven't all postseason. That offense has not woken up, and I just think they're all of a sudden going to do it tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts on the World Series before we head into the controversial section of our show, Harrison?
No, I mean, I picked the Blue Jays to win in 7. I still feel good that they're going to win in 6 or 7. I'm hoping it's 6, but it's been a great series.
Yeah, it has.
I think Dodgers fans are a little shocked, though. I don't think they expected to be in the position that they're in.
Now, and I mentioned this on the last show. It is, I think a lot of it is because of, yes, on paper, the Dodgers are ridiculous. Maybe one of the best teams ever assembled, right? No one really has been able to watch the Blue Jays play all year. We kind of forget that they're just kind of stashed up there in Toronto. Do we see glimpses of them throughout the year? Yes. But they're not thrown in our face like the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, like these big market teams, right? The Blue Jays are just kind of mentioned here and there. Guerrero's mentioned here or there. And that's really about it. So it's insane that no one's really been able to see this team, but this team has played well all year. So is it a shock to the baseball world in general? Yeah, probably, because of on paper, the Dodgers are ridiculous, right? 4 Hall of Famers, 8 Cy Youngs between all of them, all that stuff, right? I don't really know if it's 8 Cy Youngs. I'm just throwing that number out there, but
it sounds good.
Mine is, yeah, but so on paper, yeah, Dodgers are, head and shoulders above everybody else, but no one actually realized how good this Blue Jays team was. And me too. I've been watching baseball all season, and I didn't realize exactly how good, how deep, how talented this Blue Jays team is.
Yeah. So. I mean, they're loaded. It is a good team. They're finally the team we thought they were going to be the last few years. It just took a little while for it to all come together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Mike, I think to your question about the cold offense, the offense they were not good in the Brewers series. The Brewers were just worse. The Dodgers were like 3 runs a game in that series too. They weren't much better against the Phillies. The Dodgers offense hasn't been good in most of the postseason. Ohtani came into this series batting 190. And he was sadly one of the better players, and it all really came in one game. I mean, this we haven't seen this Dodgers offense really click all postseason.
Yep. All right. We are going to move on to our next segment. And now this was kind of thrown in at the end of one of our, free form segments at the end of one episode last week, I think it was. I have 3 guys that we're going to debate, Harrison. Are they in the Hall if they retire tomorrow? Now, let's start with the guy that started it all. And sorry to everybody in the chat, but mommy and daddy might be fighting again this episode. But here it is. This is official. If Ohtani retires tomorrow, is he in the Hall or out of the Hall? And I put in asterisks 10-year rule aside, because if he retires tomorrow, he is not eligible. So,
Right.
Harrison, if Otani retires tomorrow, is he in the Hall or not?
And what I would say is no, he's not in the Hall yet. Is he on a trajectory and a path to get to the Hall of Fame? Yes. But if his career were to end at the end of this season, he is not a Hall of Famer yet.
See, for me, it's a yes, and it's an easy yes. He is the best two-way player since Babe Ruth. He has done it longer than Babe Ruth has. Yeah, I get the pitching injuries and all of that, but he has done it longer than Babe Ruth. And I'm also looking at it from a writer's perspective. There's no way that they keep this guy out of the Hall of Fame for what he has brought to baseball. Yes, his statistical numbers aren't there, right? He's not
Right.
hitting those. He's not hitting those numbers. He's not hitting 500. He doesn't have the 300 wins, like those quote unquote Hall of Fame numbers. But he is a Hall of Fame player because it's just that. It's the Hall of Fame, right? And what he has done for the game of baseball, being a two-way player, has opened the door for a lot of future players to possibly be in the discussion. For me, I think it's a no-brainer, and he's in first ballot if he retires tomorrow. I really do, and I get all the statistical stuff, but there's no way that baseball does not, or not baseball. There's no way that the Hall keeps him out because of who he is.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
mean,
thought on that.
if the argument is that they're going to put him in because he's super famous, then sure. He's not deserving of a place yet. He's not pitched longer than Babe Ruth. He doesn't have more wins than Babe Ruth. Doesn't have more appearances than Babe Ruth. Doesn't have more home runs than Babe Ruth. He's done nothing more than Babe Ruth, other than take headlines. Babe Ruth pitched for 10 seasons. Babe Ruth won almost 100 games. Otani's pitched for 5 seasons. Five, I guess five and a partial, if you count 2 starts as a partial. He's got 39 wins. Babe Ruth has got 94 wins. He's shown up in games 100 times. Babe Ruth's 167 appearances. He hasn't even met Babe's standard. I mean, it's to call him the greatest two-way player in history to me is mind-numbing because his stats don't sniff Babe on either side of the ball.
Yeah,
I
but
get he's super famous. I get he throws 100 miles per hour. You can miss me with all that because I just don't care. Until he's done something that's Hall worthy, it's a no.
has Babe Ruth been on the MLB Facebook page 5 times a day for the last the 8 years? No.
No, but he was on the MLB Stone tablet at the main office every single day.
Fair. That's fair. I mean, I agree with the chat. The best two-way player ever. And I mean, I totally get your side of the argument too, right? I mean, Babe had the stats. Pitching looked different back then. I get it. But Otani's doing it at the same time. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of misinterpret the two of them when comparing is Babe had a little bit of crossover. He did, but it wasn't a ton. Like Shohei has been full crossover his entire career, minus the injuries, right? So for me, he's in. I just don't see Cooperstown just looking at him being like, well, this is Shohei Otani. He's the best two-way player we've ever seen in our lifetimes in this generation since Babe Ruth 100 years ago. Well, let's keep him out because he doesn't have the stats. I just don't see how they do that. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, and Babe Ruth crossed over more than I think he gets credit for. I mean, his rookie year was 1914. He played the field in 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. He was a part-time fielder and a full-time pitcher. And then he was full time in both for 4 or 5 seasons. Then he stopped pitching altogether and just stayed in the field because he was hitting insane numbers of bombs. So I mean, he was doing both. Otani, and sure, does Otani do both? Yeah. Have we seen a full season of him actually doing both? I don't think we have. Maybe 2022, where he actually had like a full load. But I mean, otherwise
Fair.
it's 10 starts, 14 starts, 2 starts. I mean, 3 of his 6 years he made, it was 10 starts, 2 starts, and 14 starts. So he's been a full-time-ish pitcher for 3 of his seasons. It's not a heavy pitching load, and he's missed 2 full seasons completely repitched, not at all due to injury.
Yeah.
So yeah, is he doing both? Yes. Has he done it full time? Not for long, not for longer than Babe, but yeah, he's got 3 seasons where he pitched and had a almost full time workload. But in
Yeah.
the meantime, he's also DH'd and not even played the
Mhm.
field. So that's another. Babe was in the field.
Right.
He wasn't DHing. Otani's a DH because he can't play the field.
Yeah.
We've seen him in the outfield. It's not good.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
not good.
and yeah, I mean, I get all of that. I really do. I'm on your side with the stats. And you said, I think a couple episodes ago, if you put a blindfold on and you read those stats off to me and you go, is he a Hall of Famer? I go, no, right? Because separately, his pitching stats and his batting stats are nowhere close to the Hall of Fame yet. Now,
Correct.
you add in the 50-50 season, which no one has ever done in the history of the game, and he pitches on top of that. Like, yes, I get he's a DH, and he was at the time that he did the 50-50 season, right? Because he's not going to steal 50 bases when you're pitching. You're not going to take that risk of injuring yourself. Or the Dodgers are not going to take that risk to injure him, to send him the 70 times it takes him to get 50 bags. But
Yeah, right.
I don't see how Cooperstown keeps this guy out if he retires tomorrow. For me, he's a Hall of Famer.
Well, and I think your argument is different than mine. I'm not. The writers will do stupid stuff, and they might put him in the Hall of Fame.
Fair. That's
Whatever.
fair.
What I'm saying is that when you look at Mookie, I'm reading the chat talking about Mookie Betts. When you look at Shohei's stats, he's not a Hall of Fame player yet.
No.
Now, your argument is, well, the writers will put him in. That's a whole different argument about whether he deserves it or not. Does he have a candy bar named after him? Has he hit 60 home runs in a season? No, he's not.
Yeah, but Henry Rodriguez also has a candy bar named after him, so that point's of a moot
was that
point.
really named after him though, or did they just like play that up as a thing?
There's pictures on Google with him holding the O. Henry bar, so yes.
But so I think the argument is, do his stats justify a Hall of Fame vote? No. Would the writers still do something stupid and vote him in? Maybe. I mean, they might, because again, like he is a generational talent, and he's opened up an entire country, Japan, and he's got value beyond just being a player. Which that's a whole separate argument about whether or not he gets in the Hall of Fame just for the fact that he brought Japan to Major League Baseball. I mean, the Dodgers are going to be the first $1 billion professional sports franchise in history this year because of the effect of Japan.
Yeah.
The problem is that you have to take Shohei, the baseball player, and put him over here, and Shohei, the kind of the cultural icon, and put him over here. I'm talking about Shohei, the baseball player, who's not a Hall of Famer yet. Shohei, the cultural icon, has completely changed baseball in ways that many of us will never fully understand.
No.
Because of who he is and where he's from.
Yep. Couple points here in the chat. It's max effort pitching now, not 75% in Ruth's day. I mean, the type of baseball played is completely different. Absolutely agree with you there.
Apples and car tires.
Yeah. If Ruth could have DH'd and pitched, he might have done pitching longer. I mean, we have that as well. I mean,
yep.
I don't know.
Let's be honest. Babe Ruth stopped pitching because he wasn't in shape to do both. I mean, let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no weight room. There was no training and nutrition. There was just like, hey, dude, just go hit bombs.
Yeah. Did Otani eat hot dogs during the game and hit bombs? No. But
I mean, you could sit here for hours and argue, well, Shohei travels first class and Babe Ruth rode on crappy trains across the country, and Shohei's got an entire staff that is at his beck and call, and Babe Ruth basically had to like fend for himself and eat hot dogs. Shohei Ohtani's got advanced scouting reports and equipment. Babe Ruth had a had a treadmill maybe somewhere in a corner and was left on his own, you know, it's just the game is so different.
You think
But
Babe Ruth
if you're
would
gonna
have
knock,
used a
if you're
treadmill?
I was saying it sit in the corner. I didn't say he used it, but it was like it was
Okay.
available if he wanted to use it.
Fair,
But
fair.
like these guys weren't. I mean, they were smoking and drinking. Like
Yeah.
they would get on the train. And what were they were drinking whiskey and smoking cigars on the way to the next series. Like this baseball wasn't a profession. It was. I mean, Babe Ruth was the guy that kind of made baseball a career path. Most of these guys were selling cars in the off season or working at a grocery store. Like these were regular Joes that just played ball during the summer. This wasn't like a full-time profession. This was like a hobby that paid a little bit.
Yeah.
Now these guys, their whole lives are baseball.
Yeah. Weekend wingman. We have many beefs about the hall.
Oh
Many,
yeah.
many beefs about the hall. Um, we are we are kind of with you with Barry Bonds here. Like this happened 30 years ago. Think about that, guys. 30 years ago was the steroid era. Like
Yeah.
it's time to kind of close the book on that. And I get it. If you think they cheated, or I mean, not think, we know that they cheated, whatever, even though they didn't test positive, like it was the era. Just leave it as it is and let's just close the book. Let them in. If you want to put them in a separate wing, fine. I don't have an issue with it. But everybody was doing it in that era. And you put the commissioner of that era in the Hall of Fame. As soon as you did that, everybody else should be eligible. That to me is where I lost all credibility with a Hall, and it's just it's a joke, really. It really is. But
Yeah.
all right, I got two more guys for you. Here's the next one, Harrison. If Mike Trout retires tomorrow, is he in the Hall or out of the Hall? And he has the years of service, so he would be eligible.
That is true. There'd be no problem putting him in. I don't know that Trout is there yet. Um, as crazy as that seems, I look at the numbers and career 294 hitter, 404 home runs, 1,000 RBIs. He's got some MVPs, bunch of All Stars. Literally three. What is it? One postseason hit. I mean, he's basically Dale Murphy, who's not in the Hall. Difference is Trout defensively did other things, so he's a better player than Dale Murphy. But statistically, you lay them side by side, they're kind of the same player. And Dale
Well,
Murphy's not
Dale
in the Hall.
Murphy should be. That's an absolute
Agreed,
travesty.
agreed, but he's not. And I'm sure people say it's the 265 batting average or the fact he's only at 398, not 400. But I mean, do I think Trout belongs in the Hall of Fame today? No. Could I make a case to put him there? I could, absolutely. But I don't think if he retired today that he belongs in the Hall of Fame. I think that the writers would vote him in because of that 5-year stretch where he was like the greatest player in the history of baseball. But again, like as we've seen with the Hall of Fame, 5-year stretches don't get you into the Hall of Fame. We've got plenty of guys who are like, man, he was so good for 5 years. And then the drop off was quick. But 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, those 5 years, Trout was the best player on the planet. And it wasn't even up for debate. And then the fall off was fast. It was fast.
Dude, 3-time MVP, 11-time All-Star, 2-time All-Star MVP, Platinum Glove, Rookie of the Year, 9-time Silver Slugger, MLB Player of the Year. I mean, listen, he's in. He's in. He was the best player of this generation. Even with the injuries, I would say he was the best player of this generation. And it's not even close.
For
He's
5 years, he absolutely was.
it. I'm still, even with the back injuries, I'm taking Mike Trout on my team right now. At 2025, 26 homers, and he played 130 games. I mean, even the games that he was out, what was that one he played 120 and had 40 bombs? I mean,
2022.
yeah, that's insane. And that's one of your fall off years, right? I mean, yes, injury, 120 games, but 40 and 80 is wild. For me, Trout's in. It's a no-brainer. I think he's first ballot. That's me. But all right.
All righty.
Moving on to our last one before trivia. This one's an interesting one. If Giancarlo Stanton retires tomorrow, is he in the Hall or out of the Hall?
I mean, where he's at the 450 mark, I think he's in the Hall. Do I love the idea of putting Giancarlo Stanton in the Hall of Fame? No, but he's got the 450. He's over 1,100 RBIs. He's got the mega home run season of when he hit 59. Won an MVP, finished runner up once. He's won a Derby, a couple Silver Sluggers, some All Stars. ALCS MVP. League MVP. I mean, I think the 450 is what gets him in, but I would say he probably goes in.
I'm gonna take the no on this one. And it might be, unpopular, but yes, 450 is nice, but that RBI total is not great Hall of Fame numbers, really. I mean, I would say north of 1500 is kind of the benchmark there. Like you're kind of shooting for that area ish. 258 batting average, again, another kind of lowish batting average to be in the Hall of Fame. Defensively, not really there.
Not stellar.
No. So for me, if he does get in, he is going to be a Andrew Jones type player where he's dragged along the ballot for, the minimum it takes to stay on the ballot. And then when there's a weak year, he could possibly sneak in. But for me, it's a no, and it's the Hall of Very Good. I'm with you, JMB. It's the Hall of Very Good for me. And it might be even the Hall of Very, Very Good. Because this dude can still hit the ball over 120 miles an hour, which is absolutely insane. I would never want to play third base when that guy is in the batter's box. No. Thank you. No, thank you. But I mean, and Captain, I think this would be the benchmark. If he hit 500, 500 is the automatic ticket. It doesn't matter if you hit 180, Kyle Schwarber. If you hit 500 home runs, you are in the Hall of Fame. Giancarlo Stanton for me is the Hall of Very, Very Good, and doesn't quite get in. So that's where I'm at with Giancarlo Stanton. So yeah,
fair. I mean, there's a lot of guys that he's got, I would say, kind of similar-ish numbers too that are in the Hall of Fame. But it's not he's a challenging one because he had like Trout, he had a 5-year stretch where he was one of the best players on the planet. And then again, injuries and, playing on awful Marlins teams that he was on before he finally got out of town. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because he did not have a lot of great players around him.
Yeah.
But I mean, the average Hall of Famer hitting wise is 1,200 RBIs. That's the average of the Hall, which tells you got a bunch of guys below that and a bunch of guys above that.
So he's close.
So
well, I mean,
he's right at the like the average in many categories.
All right. Yeah, I mean, well, you got guys in there that are in there for defense, right? Ozzie Smith, right. Brooks Robinson. I mean, Ozzie Smith brings that down by himself because he's 790 RBIs in his career. So, I mean, he brings that average down. But no, I get it. So, I mean, Joseph, this is a great comparison. Reminds me of Frank Howard, the very, very kind of same player. Stanton is first for me. I'd say no until he gets to 500. Not enough other body of work for me. And I'm with you. Very one-dimensional here.
Yeah, 450 home runs would put him in the top 30 of all Hall of Famers.
Yeah. So
it's challenging because he's a guy that really had two very different careers.
Yeah, agree.
Within one.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Before we get to the end of the show, where you guys get to bring up any topic you would like, I have 7 World Series trivia questions for you. I think a couple of them are tricky, but I would say overall they're fairly easy-ish tonight. And I have some fun ones in here, so I hope you guys enjoy them. So we're going to start off with a bang. Who recorded the only unassisted triple play in World Series history? And I got this one from our buddy, Baseball History Dork.
So pretty much guaranteed I won't know. Because I haven't a clue. This has got to be going way back.
Goes back quite a bit.
Is Forrest in the chat? Can you just give us the answer, Forrest?
He was he was earlier in the show. I saw him pop up, but
I mean, I can throw out some of the old reliables. Is it Cobb or Tris Speaker?
it is not. This guy has a last name that I am not going to be able to pronounce. I will
even
put
better.
it that way. Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous.
Is it Wamsgons, like Joseph is guessing?
It is. It's Wamsgons. 1,000%. It is Wamsgons.
Is that actually how you pronounce it? Wamsgons?
It is Wamsgons. I'm looking at the pronunciation right now. WHAMS, Wams, and then GANS. Wamsgons.
Okay.
Wamsgans? Either way, yes, that's correct. Yes. Bill Wamsgons.
I can
Wamsgans.
honestly say I don't think I've ever even heard that name.
Yeah. Wombagans. Wamgons. So nice.
Yeah.
All right. But pretty crazy. Only unassisted triple play World Series history.
That's wild.
And it happened a long time ago. All right. Which pitcher has the third most career World Series games played, appearing in 20? We have Mariano Rivera with 24, Whitey Ford with 22, and this guy with 20. That is a record for saying Wamsgons in a 30-second span. Oh, man. Any idea on this one, Harrison?
Well, it's a Yankees reliever for sure. From that 98, 99, 2000 stretch, it has to be. I think he's left-handed.
Mm-hmm. It's not Wetland. That's a good guess, Captain.
It's the first name I thought of, but I'm like, I think this is a lefty.
It is a lefty. It's not Andy Pettit. That's a great guess.
Oh yeah, they had a couple of lefties that seemed like they pitched every night out of that bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
I keep on saying Norm Charlton, but it wasn't Charlton. Who was it? God, he came in like every freaking night. Kind of a shorter, stocky dude, left-hander. Not a hard thrower, but he threw strikes. Oh, Jeff
Nelson's a good guess, but he's a righty. This is a lefty.
Yep.
Yeah, not Christy Mathewson. It is more recent. It's around the same era. Think 90s Yankees.
God, I can picture him too.
Mm-hmm. We actually talked about this guy in our debate section before he changed his name.
Oh, it's Mike Stanton.
It is Mike Stanton, yeah.
I was like, I can picture the dude, but I can't spit his name out.
Yeah, Mike Stanton. You like that clue? Oh, we got it.
That was good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Turn 3 got it. Mike Stanton and Cran just got it. Nice job. I think that's Michael, right? Cran. Why is it Cran? It's not Yated.
I don't know.
Hankey.
He changed it to Cran. There? He gave up on Yated Hankey, apparently.
Oh, I guess. All right. Here, these next two are actually pretty fun. They're pretty easy, but thought they were awesome. Who is the only person with 2 or more career World Series ejections?
I'm not even going to guess because there's literally only one name it could be. Because
yeah, I
don't think Piniella got ejected in a World Series, did he?
I did not see him on the list.
Was he in a World Series? As a manager? I don't think he was.
He, yeah, he might not have been. Definitely wasn't with the Mariners. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, not with the Mariners. Oh, it says Yated Hanky on my end. It does not say
Oh,
Yated
that's
Hanky on our
cool.
end. It says Cran 322.
Yeah, it is Bobby Cox. Indeed, it is Bobby Cox. Yeah, Lou Pinella, good guess, but it is Bobby Cox. Boone, the other brother, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby Cox for sure.
Yeah, so Yated Hanky, it shows as Cran on our side. Cran
Yeah, it's really
322.
weird. Yeah, Boone's a great
Sounds like
guess.
something Angel Hernandez would do.
Yeah, yeah. All right, here is the next one. Who was the last person to be ejected from a World Series contest?
So anybody?
Yeah. Well, not fans, obviously, but
Well, yeah, but player,
yes.
manager.
On-field personnel. Who was the last person to be ejected from a World Series contest?
Wow, it's been a while.
I did. I put ejected. I'm supposed to be ejected. And I'm an idiot. All right. And that's awesome. Thank you, Joseph, for pointing that out. And I think I'm going to retire now.
That's what a
Wow.
6-hour baseball game does to your brain.
Oh my goodness.
That's why I like the Ghost
embarrassing.
Runner, so you don't have to spend 6 hours losing your mind.
Oh my
Um,
goodness gracious. Yeah, no, not objected. That's ejected. Who was the last person to be ejected from a World Series contest?
man, I don't.
It is. It's Dave Martinez. Yes. Stop objecting him. Dave Martinez is the correct answer. 2019. So yeah, nice. Nice job, fellas. I don't even remember the ejection in
I don't remember
2019.
him getting thrown out
You
in
know what?
2019.
I do remember it was a play up the first baseline, and the runner had like come on the inside of the
Oh
baseline. The
yes,
catcher
I
was
remember
trying to
now.
throw, and he lost his
He
mind.
lost his shit because they're blocking the throw.
Yes, that was the. It just literally popped in because even when I was doing research for this question, see that's why I put objective. I can't even talk. Like it just popped into my mind how he got ejected, but that was it for sure. Goodness gracious.
Some WNBA players got objected. That's
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah, it was the runner's interference call for sure, Joseph. It
Yeah, because
just literally popped
was
into my
that when he had to throw the ball like over the guy and they threw it away and he was trying to argue because he took the running lane away? Was that how that play went down?
yeah, like the guy was like on the inside of the baseline, like on
Yeah.
the
Okay.
grass, and I think the catcher clipped him or
Yeah.
something. It was something to that nature for sure. But all right. Which batter hit a walk-off home run to end the longest game in World Series history? 7 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh, was this the game in 2018?
Yep.
Oh crap! Who hit that home run?
I did mention it earlier in the show, like briefly when I was talking about Freddie Freeman's,
Yeah.
but it was
Oh
not Trey.
no,
It was not Trey
It-
Turner.
it's Muncy for sure.
It is Max Muncy. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I said it was a left-handed batter in the
Yeah.
bottom of the 18th to win it. But yeah, it was Max Muncy for sure. Left center field.
Yeah, that game went on forever too. Holy cow!
Yep. So Freeman's was the second longest game. Max Muncy's and the Red Sox game was longer in 2018. But yeah, Muncy is right. Max F and Muncy. As Red Sox fans, that one hurt. You stayed up
That
for the
was
whole
painful.
18 innings and lose. So yeah, it was off. I almost put that as the trivia question was who was the home run off? Do you remember who it was off?
Oh my god, I don't.
He is still a current pitcher.
I don't recall.
Oh, gotcha. Turner was the base runner with Davey Martinez. That's what you were talking about, John.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it.
The Max Muncy home run was off from. I'll give the chat a couple more seconds. It was off Nathan Eovaldi. Nice job, Mike Reed.
Oh, that's right. Evaldi had come
Yeah.
in to pick up some bullpen slack. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was Nathan Eovaldi. Nice job. All right. This next slide is easy, but it's also like a half a joke, and you'll see why in a second. Which team holds the record for most team home runs hit in a single World Series with 15?
Team Rubbermaid.
How do you like my silhouette there?
That's pretty good. Oh man, Waste Management.
Yeah. Good guess, not them. Everyone's dying. Yeah.
Good Lord.
So, yeah, this one was a great one. So, looking for the answer.
Yeah. Anybody got an answer? Anybody?
Yeah.
Have we figured out that that's a trash can and a bat? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. It's the Astros.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But
Oscar the Grouch.
yeah. So I had to put that one in there. I thought that was fun. I was like,
Oh
man,
my
I'm just
goodness.
gonna do it. But
That's amazing.
all right. Last one I got for you. Which player has been involved in 3 World Series clinching plays, being on either the winning or losing end?
Pretty
And
sure I know who this is.
And I say World Series clinching because one of the home runs he hit was in the 7th, but it did clinch the win for them. Yes, Harrison, correct. Nope, not. Anybody got this one? Harrison's got it.
I got it.
Yep, absolutely
There it is.
correct, John Carter. It is Edgar Renteria. So we got the 97 walk-off against the Indians for the Marlins. We have the comebacker back to Folk in 04. Renteria hit that. And then he hit the home run as pictured here for the Giants in the bottom of the 7th to clinch it for them, I believe, in 2010.
It's got to be 10, right?
So I think it was 10. So, yep, Edgar Renteria.
Yeah, the Giants home run I kind of forgot about because he wasn't like I just don't think of him in San Fran, but I was like, oh wait, I saw the ballpark. I'm like, I know what this one is.
Yep, and it was in the 7th. It wasn't in like the bottom of the 9th or anything like that. So
yeah, that was a backbreaker though.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so this is the part of the show where Harrison brings up the chat so YouTube and Facebook can kind of see what we're talking about. But this is the part of the show for you guys. We can talk about anything World Series, news, off season, anything you want to bring up or have a question for, we can discuss. But this is your chance to bring something up in the chat. While you're thinking about that, Harrison, do you have anything for us?
We got manager news.
Okay.
As of 2 hours ago, the Nationals have named Blake Butera their new manager.
Okay.
I'm literally just seeing it now. He is reportedly in as their new manager as of a couple hours ago. There's like little to no press coverage of it, which is kind of funny.
I mean, it's
so
the Nationals.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the details, but he is apparently in Washington.
All right.
He would be. Oh, okay. This is the young guy from team. Is it Italy? So he's 30. He's 33 years old. He would be the youngest manager. It looks like in MLB history.
He's 33.
He's 33.
MLB starting to go towards that NFL like young head coach type thing here.
Yeah, so real quick, here's the story. Butera was a senior director of player development of the Tampa Bay organization. He played 2 seasons as a Rays minor leaguer, coming out of Boston College in 2015. And then he quickly went into player development, scouting, and coaching. So Yeah, so that is Taboni from the Red Sox. That's his first big hire is Butera, who was one of the coaches for Team Italy in the last WBC. Apparently a
Huh.
guy who's got a good knack for identifying talent. Uh, I don't know much other than that because he's been in player development.
Yeah. That's an interesting hire.
Yeah, apparently, from what I'm reading, there's a lot of positive feedback on him overall. That they kind of an expectation he'd be a manager. They just didn't think it would happen this fast.
Yeah. Hmm.
But the dude's 33. He's gonna have guys he's coaching that are older than him. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting.
Almost the entire roster.
Yeah, he'll be the youngest MLB manager in more than 50 years.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
Interesting one.
And
Yeah.
he was in player development, then he's been managing in the minor league system the last 4 years for the Rays.
Okay. Yeah, Mike. This one, the Tigers and Scooble are. We talked about this like last week. I think they're like $250 million apart. Like they're not even close. Do we see Scooble moved this offseason?
I think you have to. I mean, I think you've got to maximize the value for Scooble and trade him as soon as you can, so that you can get a bigger package. And he's got a year left. Because I don't think you want to go into the season, have a good first half, and be like, "Oh, we got to trade you now," and bag our season. I can't imagine you want to do that and have to justify to your fans why you're doing that now. I think you're better off to make that trade in the offseason.
It's such an interesting position because the Tigers have been competitive the last 2 years, and a lot of that is because of Tarek Skubal. And then you trade him away. What does that do for your fan base? Like, I mean, your fan base is just sitting there going, "What the hell are we doing?" Right? I mean, he's
Yeah.
the best pitcher in the AL. You could argue that there's a couple others, but lately he's been the best pitcher in the AL. He's gonna win back-to-back Cy Youngs, right? I mean, and we're gonna trade him because you guys aren't gonna pay him. Like, I mean, I get it. Tigers, it might not work for them. They might not have the money to pay him. I don't know their financials, but I just goodness gracious. No, the issue isn't money. It's the length of the contract. The offer's still $50 million a year. Tigers are offering 5 years. Boris wants 10. Well, there's the first issue right there. It's Boris. Tigers don't want to give a pitcher 10 years that has 2 Tommy John surgeries. Well, there it is. So it's the years. And that's honestly been the issue with a lot of these contracts. You know, that was the issue with Bregman. It was like he didn't mind the annual value, he just didn't get the years. And no one gave him the years, so that's why he signed on with the Red Sox real quick.
Right.
But if you're the Tigers, do you give Tarek Skubal the years? I mean, it's Tarek friggin' Skubal. I mean, he is 27. Is 10 too much for a guy that's 27?
I mean, I think so. Yeah. I mean, this is a guy that he's in 6 years in the league. He pitched to a 5.63 ERA, a 4.34 ERA, a 3.52 ERA, and now he was at a 2.8 in 23. Then he's at 2.39 and 2.21. This is a guy whose first 3 years in the big leagues were pretty crappy. And then all of a sudden he kind of like became Scooble when he figured out how to pitch. I don't know that and also the fact he's got the surgery history. I don't know that you want to give 10 years to that guy. I think 5 or 6 is a good number. And I get Scooble's perspective. Like, I want the security. Like, I want the long-term deal. I just don't think anybody's going to give him 10 years. That would be insane to give a guy who's about to turn 29 years old a 10-year deal.
Yeah. Joseph, this could be. I think you might have just hit the nail right on the head. You think Boris is posturing so Skubal can pitch in a bigger market, and that might be it. I mean,
Yeah.
we could be seeing Skubal as a Dodger, Yankee, Red Sox this offseason, as soon as next year. Where would you see Skubal going if he does get moved? Who's got the package to get Tarek Skubal?
There's only 3 teams that could even come close to meeting his demands. It's going to be New York, LA, and Boston are the 4 teams that could potentially match this package. We know the Red Sox won't do it. They aren't going to sign a contract that long. I don't know that the Mets have the appetite to do it. I think it's basically you want to go to LA, you want to be a Yankee. Which one? Because I don't think anybody else is jumping at that contract.
You know what's insane is LA has the farm system to get him too. They have all the
They
top
do.
end talent and they have the minor league system to get him.
And it's just money. I mean,
Jeez.
the Dodgers are going to crest $1 billion in revenue. They don't care. You want $50 million for the next 10 years? Sure. Come on over. We'll we'll trade the prospects. We'll bring you in. You know, at some point the Dodgers, I'm not sure where the Dodgers fit him in, but they could do it. I don't think there's a market for that contract.
Yeah.
10 years, 500 million for a pitcher who's about to turn 29. He literally turns 29 in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
This is not a dude that's going to age great
Well,
throwing like he does.
and that's why he wants the 10. He wants the 10, the security. So then after year 10, he retires, rides off into the sunset at 39, and that's that. Right. If he signs
Or in 5 years, he
5,
blows out his arm, rides off into the sunset, and we never see him again.
Also there. But what I'm saying, like, assuming he stays healthy, if he signs a 6 or 7 year contract that brings him to 35, 36, he could still have a couple more years to pitch. But who's going to sign an aging player at that point? Not a lot of teams do that.
Nobody. This no matter what it is, this will probably be the last contract he signs. If it's 6 or 7 years or if it's 10 years, it's probably going to be the last one. So if I'm him, yeah, I would go. I would make the big ask and see where I can land. I don't think he's got 10 years in that arm. He's probably got 6. And then you're talking about a guy who's probably in Steven Strasburg's position and being unable to move his arm. I mean, the Mets, I mean, I don't disagree, Michael or Captain. I mean, the Mets could totally do it. I just think we have seen Cohen show restraint on contracts he just thinks are going to be bad. He was capitalizing on Juan Soto's popularity to bring him in. How'd that work out this year? Not great. The pitching staff was a disaster. I think he looks at that as I can use that $50 million to go get me 2 good starters versus 1 ace. I don't know that Cohen. I don't even know that Cohen does that, but maybe he could.
But the starting pitching free agent market is not great. There's not much out there.
It's not super. It's not.
So
And
Joseph,
you could also trade for him and not re-sign him. You could just take him as a 1-year rental.
Yeah.
Which, maybe Cohen would do that.
Yeah. Joseph, I agree with you and disagree kind of in the same at the same time here. A lot of teams are going to be hesitant right now, given the uncertainty of the 2027. Yes, we have that absolutely looming, right? This is the last free agent market that we're going to have until the lockout. The lockout is inevitable. It is coming. I think it's going to go either 2 ways. I think you're either right? Teams are going to be like, we're not going to sign any long-term deals because we don't know what's coming out of 27. Or you're going to have the complete opposite. And everyone's going to be like, spend because we can, and we know we can, before they change the rules in 27. So I think you're going to have either one side of that or the other. Which side would you think, Harrison?
In terms of which sides for what?
Yeah, a team's thought process. Like, I want to spend now before the lockout because I know what the structure is and what I can do, versus waiting until after and just not spending anything until after the lockout, where you might be more constrained after the lockout.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in love with the idea of spending a bunch of money right now going into what I know is going to be a lost season and then going into a future where I don't know the rules yet. It's going to be really hard to get excited to make a huge commitment to a guy if there's, some sort of rule change coming or, who knows. I think a lot of teams are going to be a little nervous to make a huge commitment, not knowing what the rules are going to be. But if I'm Scooble, I absolutely want to sign this year because I do not want to be a free agent going into 2027, knowing full well that I won't have a contract because there won't be anybody to negotiate with if we're locked out. So I think you have to. If you're Scooble, you have to get signed this year. You cannot let this drag out.
Yeah, and players don't accrue service time during a lockout.
Correct.
So like their contract wouldn't start if they sign, in the 26 offseason into 27, they sign somehow before the lockout, their contract won't start until the lockout releases, which
Yep.
man.
Which
And this was the way I was thinking, Mike, is like I would kind of want my deals grandfathered in, I think,
well,
instead
if
of
there's
trying to.
yeah, if they make some major change, they're gonna have to give teams time to adjust to it. It's like when the NFL put the salary cap in, like it took years to actually fully implement it because you had to give teams time to make changes and adjustments, let some contracts expire, and you can't just change rules tomorrow and be like, okay, boom, you've all got to be in compliance. And it's like, can't do it. I
Yeah,
can't void these contracts because again, these are guaranteed contracts. It's not like you can just start cutting guys. Yep, yeah, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone. Like it's not set up that way.
yeah,
So you're going to have to give teams time to figure it out. And I don't. In reality, I don't expect they come out of this with a salary cap or anything crazy like that. I think they just there's a lot of posturing. They're gonna come out of this with a more punitive luxury tax, some sort of maybe like a tax on a minimum, where if you below it, you get taxed to come up to it. And maybe they change some deferred money rules, but they're never going to get a salary cap in baseball. That's just not going to happen.
no. Uh, Michael doesn't want the Mets to get him, but imagine if it was Skubal, Senga, and those three young kids that they got. Mets rotation could be
I mean, Senga
decent.
was trash the second half of the season.
He was.
I don't know who he is and who he actually is, but those three young kids I think are going to be super talented.
Yeah.
And I think if you could have Scooble as your anchor, I mean that immediately makes the Mets a more legitimate team. The Mets have a lot of other things to figure out, I think, before they go make a massive splashy trade for Scooble.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But it's Cohen. It's just money. I mean,
Yep. Right.
he's got plenty of it.
Yeah.
But Scooble's market is super small.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why we're at where we're at with the 2027 lockout looming. That 80% of teams looking at that going, nope, not even going to call them.
Yeah. All right.
Actually, probably more like 90% of teams are looking at that going, no, I can't even call them.
Yeah. Anything else in the chat for tonight? Do you have anything else, Harrison?
I do, and actually it was mentioned just a little bit back when we
Okay.
were talking about Strasburg, but he actually has joined the San Diego Aztecs as a special assistant to head coach Kevin Vance. So back to his alma mater.
Yep.
So working as an assistant to the head coach. Sounds like he's going to be. It's not an assistant in the sense of like, um, just like hanging with Kevin, but like more of like a bench coach, kind of a pitching resource, to help out that program.
Yeah. Nice.
So
I like
good to
that.
see him background baseball.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say that. I was like, I think it's absolutely incredible. I mean, Nationals kind of did him dirty when he was heading out the door. I mean, he literally blew his arm out for you guys to win a World Series, and then to kind of put him through the ringer there to just
Yeah.
tell him that he has to come back and pitch, or they're not going to pay him, and they're not going to let him retire, and then they let him retire. It was a whole thing. I'm glad that he's back in baseball, though. That's great.
My favorite line was when they're like, "Well, Steven, we'll see you at spring training." It's like,
It's
what are you guys?
brutal.
What are you guys doing? Come on.
Brutal. I could not believe that. That was unreal. Thoughts on rumors that Verlander may be returning to Detroit? I called it. I said it. I was like, I think that's where Verlander could go to wrap things up. Like comes for full circle.
Yep.
He goes there. If Scooble's still there, that could be a pretty cool mentoring like relationship there. If Scooble gets some advice from Verlander, I mean, yikes. I mean, I could see it. I think it's a good fit. So,
Yep. We've got some interesting legal news around MLB the last couple days.
hmm
So you have this came out earlier today that there's a youth baseball company that's under MLBPA's control that is being federally investigated for the spending of millions of dollars. It's called Players Way, and it was created by the MLBPA to help kids. It's an official youth development initiative of MLBPA, and it's supported by current and former players. It's overseen by their board of their kind of the board of players they're all reps. The program has done very little. It's barely made six figures in revenue since 2019, but it spent almost $4 million. There's allegations that Tony Clark is approving payments through to it, that there's some self-dealing. It's bad. It's not pretty, and it's being investigated by the same group that just blew up that whole NBA betting scandal. So who knows what comes of that? But it's not a good look for MLBPA and Tony Clark heading into a labor negotiation. Have one of your initiatives just spending money and now being federally investigated.
Well then.
Yeah.
Well then. Wow.
And then MLB banned an agent today. Jim Murray got banned for 4 years for double dealing with the commissioner's office during the 2020 negotiations around COVID. He was fined $100,000, decertified for 4 years, meaning he can't negotiate contracts. He can advise existing clients in other ways, but he will no longer be allowed to negotiate contracts the next 4 years.
So what did he So what did he actually do?
It doesn't clearly outline exactly what happened here. I'm trying to see what the details are, but it's they flagrantly breached their contracts when they defected to an so this is actually a second legal issue this guy's got. Never mind. There's not a lot of details in it because it was a settlement, so a lot of it was sealed. But this is the second time in the last couple of years this guy's gotten in trouble with MLB for kind of looking out for his own self and telling MLB one thing and doing another, and in some cases outright lying to the front office. So it doesn't sound good.
Interesting.
He could have been potentially banned for life before this settlement was quickly reached before they went to arbitration starting tomorrow. So it doesn't sound good.
Dang. All right.
But for MLB to actually ban an agent, that doesn't happen that often.
No. Yeah, but I just, how do you lie to the front office? I guess is my I guess I'm lost there. I don't know. I'd have to dig into that.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of detail. His former clients include Ian Happ, Adam Ottavino, Anthony Volpe, and Andy Pettit. So high enough profile.
Joseph has a little bit more detail, it seems. The MLBPA alleged that Murray provided confidential union information to the league and assisted MLB in crafting its proposal during negotiations over the COVID-19 shortened season. Gotcha. So he was taking stuff from the union and giving it to the league to try to negotiate. Gotcha.
Okay, yeah, because the Athletic was not super clear about what it was. Just a lot of it was sealed in the settlement, but there's been allegations.
Gotcha.
Interesting. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
When you do something, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
1,000%.
I did see a cool stat earlier today, and Anthony Volpe I shared it to our page. I can't remember the number, but Anthony Volpe's OPS in the regular season was like 613 or something like that. Terrible, like just awful. The Dodgers postseason OPS is actually lower as a team.
Yikes!
It's awful. Awful.
Damn.
We're talking about the fact that offense has been pretty weak. Well, there's a great example of it. When your team OPS is less than Anthony Volpe's, you've got a serious problem.
Yeah, especially with the talent you have on that team. It's crazy.
But yeah, it shouldn't be that bad.
All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up for tonight. Keep your eye out. We might be on tomorrow. Maybe a little clencher watch party if Harrison's around. I mean, I got tomorrow off. Maybe we can pop on. We'll see.
It's trick or treat, so we'll see when we get back.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So maybe we can hop on after Halloween. So get those kids trick-or-treating, or if you're an adult and you still trick-or-treat, I don't judge. have fun,
Just
be
go buy a
safe.
bag of candy and hang out at home with it. Come on.
I mean, that's what I do. I sit at the end of my driveway and like one for you, two for me, one for you, two for me. So whatever. Um, but yeah, we will be on probably watch game 6 here tomorrow night. Yamamoto versus Kevin Gossman. Blue Jays can clench. We're pulling for them. But yeah, thanks for everybody for watching. We had an incredible turnout tonight. It was absolutely awesome to break down the World Series so far, go through those debates. A really fun show. It's always fun. Love when you guys add to the show. That's what this is about. That's what our podcast is about. Um, we love that you guys are just as much a part of this show as we are. So really appreciate your engagement. Share our page. Tell all your friends about us. We're still growing. It's crazy. But we appreciate all the support that you guys give us day after day. So don't think it doesn't go unnoticed, because it totally does. Really appreciate you guys. So have a safe and happy Halloween. Hopefully, we'll see some of you guys tomorrow night during the watch party. And don't eat too much candy. And we'll see you tomorrow.